So here we are at the Manufacturing Media Studio on day 2 of Smart Manufacturing Week, and I'm joined by Alexia Williams of Rolls-Royce, who's come over to have a chat with us. Thank you very much for that, Alexia, first of all. Look, could you maybe just tell us then about how you got into engineering, first of all?
Yes, so I actually first found out about engineering when I was in year 9. So I went to a Imagineering Fair, which is local companies presenting what STEM you can do, getting hands-on. And that was my first glimpse of engineering. And I thought, actually, this is something that's for me. I quite enjoy this. I heard about apprenticeships. So I went and did A-levels. So I did maths, physics and product design. I knew I wanted to go down engineering route, and I knew I wanted to do it via an apprenticeship. So being able to tell my sixth form, I don't want to apply to university, they were a little bit shocked as I was the first one to be going down that route. But it's worked out brilliantly for me. So I came in and was an engineering apprentice, doing a degree scheme in aerospace with manufacturing. And then I went on into a full-time role and did a level 7 apprenticeship as well at Cranford University.
Yeah, it's so interesting. You know, a couple of panels that I hosted yesterday, and the people on it were saying actually, I think obviously skills came up as a real issue, you know, a kind of real point of concern for these companies. But they're saying actually the people that they've had that have done a year or two, young people that have done a year or two as an apprenticeship in the industry, you know, they're so much better prepared than people that are coming out of university. So how did that route really help you and prepare you kind of further down the line?
The first year, you're still actually where I was at full-time college for the first year. So I still felt like I was in school or doing the uni. But as soon as I was in the business and doing those placements and doing the placement rotations as well, moving around, seeing different things, getting hands-on, you pick things up really quickly and you actually take in more around what people are doing, what's going on around you, and the more senior people than you think. So being able to use that and bring it into my role now is I still use some of the information, things I learned being an apprentice.
So we often hear about the ageing workforce in manufacturing being a problem for a lot of businesses, but you know, actually there is a huge amount of experience for you know, they can offer young people coming into the industry. Has that kind of helped you, sort of working with more experienced people in your career?
Yeah, so actually when I was on the shop floor, one of my best friends is a 50-year-old man, and I never thought I would ever say that, but coming into manufacturing, that's the environment you're in, and actually I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed being able to be around more experienced people because you learn from them way more than actually you think you can. And even if it's just like a passing conversation or something, that you actually take away and you get involved and you feel included. And it's nice to be in an environment where they do include you.
Yeah.
But saying that, I am also with lots of young people.
Sure.
So it's not it's not just I'm the token young person,
Sure.
which is
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. And in some ways, is it kind of mutually beneficial? Because do you feel like older colleagues have, actually maybe without realising, have learned some stuff from you as well and from younger colleagues?
I hope so. No, but one of the actual really interesting things that Rolls-Royce does and we get involved in is reverse mentoring.
Yeah.
So actually we get paired up with senior managers where they help us, but also we help them.
Yeah.
So they get to learn about what's going on that maybe they don't actually get to see because they're not in the nitty-gritty of it. But also they'll ask us things that maybe their kids have shown them and they're like, look, I need someone that's not going to judge, but what does this mean? It's little things like that that actually is beneficial for both.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, given that there has been this ageing workforce for so long, I think it has created some quite kind of deeply embedded sort of, you know, mindsets. Are there any like particular mindsets or behaviours that you really think need to change in manufacturing?
I think for me it's the expectations that people have of young people. Not from a they expect loads, from a they don't expect at all very much. And I think that's something that apprentices and graduates and interns come in and actually they get given really sort of small, not so impressive tasks, but once you give them something a bit more challenging, they're surprised how much we can do. And I think that's something that actually needs to change, is around young people are just as capable, we just need maybe a little bit of help to get there. But being able to actually allow us to have a go in the first place, give us a challenge, see actually how much we can do before you start offering help, before you start degrading the level of skill or level of task you're giving us. step it up, make it more challenging, because actually the individual will usually step up to the plate.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, it sounds like Rolls-Royce are doing some great things around, helping young people, and you mentioned reverse mentoring earlier. Do you think that we've still got a bit of a way to go in the manufacturing industry in general to kind of give young people that step into the industry?
Yes and no. I think we've almost gone too far one way of it being all young people are going to solve all of our problems. By bringing them in, it's going to fill all the gaps. But actually, there's that huge gap in the middle where we've got an aging workforce that are going to be retiring in the next 5 years. We've got loads of people coming in, young individuals coming in through apprenticeships, grad schemes. But it's that middle sector where actually we're going to have a huge knowledge gap. So being able to bring people in through career changes and bring them into a sector that's not just relying on young people, but other people in other industries, because so many skills are transferable. They don't need to have a degree in engineering to come into an engineering environment. They can come in because they're used to problem solving. They're used to being customer facing. They know how to deal with different situations. That diversification of the workforce actually will be even more beneficial than just bringing in engineers.
Was there something specific that Rolls-Royce were offering, or just anything to do with their business that made you think, I really want to work with these guys?
I think for me, I knew I wanted to go into aerospace, and I knew I wanted to go into engines basically because I wanted to do something that moved. There was components to it. So for me, Rolls-Royce seemed like the best fit. I had offers from other organisations like JCB, Airbus and a few others that also I would have absolutely loved to go to. But I think because my interest at the time was aerospace and moving components, that's why that one appealed to me. And obviously it was a well-known name, so that helped. But actually, like the number of companies I applied to and the number I hadn't really heard of and I just came across because I was Googling apprenticeships engineering, there's so many out there that I probably could have had just as good or if not better time.
Yeah, I think people of all ages want to work in a company that promotes a good culture. I think it is increasingly important though for young people, right? What does that actually look like though, in your opinion? What does good culture really look like in practice?
Everyone feeling like they belong. So whether that's having employee representative groups, whether that's having events regularly, not just one a year, having an environment where people feel like they can join in, work together, share different ideas and not feel judged. So that psychological safety piece of actually managers not judging people when they ask a question or bring something up, or they don't feel like they get shut down. I think as soon as you feel like you can say what you feel and share how you're feeling in an environment that supports that, the culture comes along with it.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then finally, I mean, you're still kind of early in your career,
yes.
Looking ahead to the future, where do you see yourself kind of 5 or 10 years down the line? Would it still be in manufacturing, or are you just kind of taking things day by day?
I don't think I ever want to move away from being involved in manufacturing. Maybe not on such a day-to-day basis, but I definitely still want to be around engineering, around manufacturing, because I find it interesting. It's what brought me here in the first place. So whether my end career looks like something very different or maybe not an engineering role, I still want to be around engineering products.
Yeah, fantastic. And actually, final question just would be around the show and how you've enjoyed yourself, and actually why you think that events like this are important for the manufacturing industry.
Yeah. I just love walking around, seeing everything that's on show, because actually when you walk around you see things that we might not have in our company. You don't think you can apply it, but actually just being able to see what's out there, what's going on. And one of the great ones I actually saw, so linked to my work externally, is around a welding simulator. So you can actually practice welding without having to weld, which is actually for young people, especially welders, because there's such a gap, getting young people interested in things like that and being able to show employers you can use this to go do outreach with schools and get people interested in your sector.
Yeah.
You would never learn about these things unless you came here and saw it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time,
Thank you.
Alexia. Great to speak to you.